Death Valley, California, the hottest, driest place in North America. In the middle of a dried lake bed, there are rocks, some weighing over 300 kilograms, and they move, by themselves, across the desert floor, leaving long tracks behind them. No one has ever seen them move. But the evidence is undeniable. How is this possible? Welcome to Racetrack Playa, a dried lake bed in Death Valley National Park, nearly 5 kilometers long, perfectly flat, made of cracked clay, and scattered across this desolate landscape are stones. Dozens of them, each one has left a trail, a track in the dried mud. Some tracks are straight, some are curved, some make complete loops, the longest track ever measured. Over 800 meters, the stones range from pebbles to massive boulders weighing hundreds of kilograms. And somehow, they slide across the playa. This phenomenon has been documented since the early 1900s. Prospectors first noticed the tracks. Scientists came to investigate. Researchers set up cameras, motion detectors, time-lapse photography. They marked the stones' positions and came back months later. The stones had moved. New tracks appeared. But no one ever saw them move. For over a century, it remained a complete mystery. The early theories were wild: magnetic fields pulling iron-rich rocks, underground earthquakes shifting the ground, dust devils creating vortexes, pranksters moving them at night. Some even suggested supernatural forces, but none of these explained the evidence. The tracks were too long, too smooth, too consistent, and the stones were too heavy. A 300-kilogram boulder doesn't get moved by pranksters. Not across 800 meters of desert, not without leaving footprints. And Death Valley is monitored. Park rangers patrol regularly. No one was moving these stones. Scientists ruled out earthquakes. The playa is too flat, too stable. Magnetic fields? Most stones aren't even magnetic. And they move in different directions. Sometimes toward each other, sometimes away. There's no pattern. Dust devils. Not strong enough. Not consistent enough. And dust devils leave their own tracks, none of which were found. For decades, researchers were stumped. They knew the stones moved. They could prove it, measure it, document it, but they couldn't explain how, or why, or when. Remember this, the mystery wasn't whether the stones moved. The mystery was how something so heavy could slide so far, leaving only a smooth track behind it, with no visible force, no explanation, no witnesses. In the 1990s, new technology arrived. Better cameras, motion sensors, GPS tracking devices. Scientists attached GPS units to several stones, monitored them continuously, and waited. Years passed. The stones didn't move. Then suddenly, they did. GPS showed movement. But when researchers arrived, the playa looked the same. The stones had new tracks. But no one saw what happened. It was as if the stones only moved when no one was watching. December 2013. To researchers, Richard Norris and James Norris were studying the playa. They had installed time-lapse cameras months earlier. And on this particular day, conditions were unusual. It had rained, which is rare in Death Valley. The playa had a thin layer of water on it. Overnight, temperatures dropped. The water froze, creating a thin sheet of ice across the lake bed. Then morning came. The sun rose. The ice began to melt. And the researchers watched as the impossible happened. The ice sheet started breaking apart, creating large floating panels, pushed by a light wind. These ice panels pushed against the stones, and the stones began to slide, slowly, silently, across the slippery mud beneath the ice. The mystery was solved, but here's what makes it remarkable. The conditions have to be perfect. Rain must create a thin layer of water, just enough to cover the playa. The temperature must drop below freezing, creating ice, but not too much ice, just a thin sheet. Then the sun must rise, melting the ice, but slowly, creating floating panels. And wind must blow, gently, not too strong, not too weak. All of these factors happening together. in one of the driest places on Earth. This only happens once every few years. Sometimes once a decade. That's why no one saw it. That's why it took over a century to solve. The stones don't move often, maybe a few times in a decade. And when they do, it's during winter nights, when few people visit, when conditions align perfectly. For just a few hours, the sailing stones of Death Valley, a mystery for over 100 years, solved by patience, technology, and luck. The answer was simpler than anyone imagined: ice, wind, physics. But it required such specific conditions that it almost never happens. Think about this. How many other natural mysteries exist that we simply haven't witnessed yet? Because the conditions are so rare, so specific, that we miss them. The sailing stones moved for centuries. People saw the evidence, the tracks, the displaced stones, but without seeing the movement itself, the explanation seemed impossible. Science solved this mystery. But it took decades, hundreds of researchers, countless hours of observation, and finally, being in the right place, at the right time, with the right equipment. The stones weren't supernatural. They weren't moved by magnetic fields or aliens. They were moved by nature, by a phenomenon so rare that it became legendary. What other mysteries are just rare natural phenomena we haven't witnessed yet? What else moves in the night, leaves evidence, and challenges what we think is possible? The world is full of wonders, some of them hidden in plain sight, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal themselves. Nature is the greatest magician of all, and its secrets are worth the wait. If you found this journey into the heart of mystery as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the unexplained. And let me know in the comments below. What natural wonder do you think holds a secret we have yet to discover? Thanks for watching.